Tack it before you wreck it. What's up, geeks? I'm Kirk here in my home office, aka the spare bedroom, because I'm going to test out something for you. Take a look at what I've got. This is the ONN, the ON 4K Plus streaming device from Walmart. Who would have thought that Walmart would become a leading maker of Android streaming boxes? And the reason that this one is a big deal, the reason a lot of people are talking about this one is because it's 4K, it supports Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, it's got Wi-Fi 6, it kind of ticks all the boxes, and it's only $30. So here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to open up the box, show you what comes inside the box. Then, if you stick around to the B side of this video, I'll plug this in, I'll set it up, I'll take you through the setup process, we'll get into the main menu, see how responsive this thing is, and do a quick walkthrough. So let's get this over to the table and get this unboxed. There it is, guys. The ON 4K Plus streaming device in the box, brand new, unopened. You can see it says includes voice remote right there on the box. It's got the Google TV logo, a bunch of the apps. Look at the bottom too. This is really important. Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. It'll have that on the back too. You can see on the back it's got just kind of a breakdown of Google TV, the specs. You got a voice remote with Google Assistant, the Google Cast, 4K HD, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, a quad-core Cortex A55 processor, the G310 V2 GPU, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of storage. It's got Wi-Fi 6, and you can see what's in the box. You get the streaming device, the remote control, you get batteries, an HDMI cable, AC adapter, adhesive tape to stick it to the back of the TV, and a quick start guide. And again, you can see 4K Ultra HD there, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, and, which is really important, fast Wi-Fi 6. So, let me open this thing up and see what's inside. All right, guys, sliding it open, and what do we got? We'll start with this. This is the little quick start guide, and it's very thin, just a few pages. You can see it's got a breakdown of what's supposed to be in the box. It's got a breakdown of the buttons on the remote. It's got a breakdown of the box itself, and some very basic setup steps. Next up is the power adapter, and this is interesting. A hardwired power adapter with a USB-C plug on the end, but it's not a typical wall wart that you can plug any USB cable into. This is hardwired, and you can see the specs there. I'm guessing they don't want you using the USB port on the back of your TV. They want you using an actual wall plug to power this thing up. All right, what else do we got in here? A cable, a remote, some batteries. Let's take a closer look. And this is a HDMI cable. So nice that they include this. We see some companies excluding this from the box, but nice that they include a very standard, generic HDMI cable. It doesn't have any ON branding, but you know, it's going to do the job in most cases, and it has to be 4K compatible if it comes with a 4K box. Okay, so we've got some batteries here. Well, all right, what brand batteries are these? They are Alkaline brand. The most generic batteries in the world, but that's fine. Better than not getting batteries at all. Of course, those go with the remote. So before we get to the remote, I do want to take a look at the box here. You can see it's got kind of a diagram of a basic, easy setup, how you plug things in, plug in the HDMI, plug in the power, and then it should turn itself on. We know that, but you know, just for anybody who doesn't know exactly which order to plug things in, that's the order you should do it. All right, we've got the packaging off, but I do want to show you this. Included is a little piece of adhesive tape, double-sided adhesive tape, which I believe is to attach the box to the back of your TV if you want to hide it back there. But let's take a closer look at the remote first. And we've got a lot of buttons on here. You've got your power button, you've got your customizable star button, you've got a profile button, your microphone button, you've got your settings button, then there's your D-pad with the select button in the middle. Below that, you've got a back button, you've got a live TV button, a home button, your free TV button there, which is new, relatively new for these remotes. You've got volume up, channel up, channel down, mute, YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, and Paramount Plus. You've got an IR little transmitter thing on the front for controlling your old school TVs, because of course this does work via Bluetooth. There's your microphone, so you could talk to the remote, use voice to text for searching and whatnot. Inside, of course, that's where the AAA batteries go. As I mentioned, the batteries are included in the box. All right, finally getting to the box itself. This is the ON 4K Plus box. It's very simple, it's very small, it's very light, but it looks sleek, I think. Take a look on the back here. You've got your USB-C power port. I do not believe that works for data, but I haven't tried it with a splitter. You've got an HDMI port and then a reset button that'll also repair the remote if necessary. On the bottom, we've got some rubber feet, which are nice to see. Of course, we've got some specs. Let's flip this over. Some specs, not specs, but just the name of the product. You've got your serial number and barcode. On the bottom there, look, there is a little light, an indicator light there on the bottom. But that's about it. And this is about as basic of an Android TV box as you're going to get, but it does look pretty nice, pretty slick. All right, it's go time, and I've got this box hooked up to HDMI right here, and I'm going to show you the process here, guys, the setup process, how everything goes. I'm going to plug my power in and flip this over so you guys can see this booting right up. You'll see the light on the bottom has now illuminated. The ONN, the ON logo, has shown up on the screen. I've got my remote, but I haven't even put the batteries in yet because I do want to do this setup procedure properly. Let's see what happens. Google TV logo, as we'd expect with most Google TV devices. Not a huge surprise, it's asking us to pair our remote. So I'll go ahead and pop the batteries in. Oftentimes, you don't even have to use this little pairing key combination. You simply pop the batteries in there. We've got one in, we've got the other one in, and it should, there we go, recognize the remote. It's saying, yep, we're pairing successful. I haven't pressed a single button, and now we're good to go. So the first screen is asking me for my language. I'll select English, your country, which is also United States. Quickly set up on phone or manual setup with TV remote. I'm going to do it with the remote so that you guys can follow along with me here on YouTube. So first off, it's asking for my Wi-Fi network, which I will punch in. That was fairly quick, connected to Wi-Fi, and it's immediately downloading some sort of system update. Take a look, you can see that there. Not a big surprise. This thing was sent to me pretty early on in the release process, so I'm assuming that there's been some software updates since this thing first shipped out. Reboot process now underway. That update took about 5-10 minutes or so, and it looks like we're getting back into Google TV so we can get back into that setup. All right, right back into Google TV, and you can see the first option here is to sign into your Google account, so I will do that. Okay, it's asking for a quick two-step verification from my phone, which I can do. It popped up on my phone, and I will confirm that, and looks like now we are logged in. Let's see what happens next. Asking for us to accept the terms of service. I will accept that. It's mentioning some different Google services. To learn more about a service, select it below. Data will be used according to Google's privacy policy. So do you want your location revealed? Google Home, of course, that's a cool new feature with Google TV right now, is accessing your Google Home stuff. Google Assistant, the voice connection, of course. Do you want to help improve Google TV? You can turn that off if you don't want to share data with Google. Update your apps and whatnot. And then recommendations and ads. Of course, that's going to offer you recommendations based off of what you're doing. It can't do that without accepting or revealing some sort of information about you. All right, the next page is asking us if we want to search across all of our TV apps. One search searches all your apps. Of course, I will allow that. Do you want to activate voice match? I will hit agree because my voice match information should already be in my Google account. Do I want to get personal results? I will turn that on. So when you ask for certain things, it knows your account, it knows your stuff. Which home do you want to use for this? So if you have homes already set up in the Google Home app, if you have multiple homes, you can control multiple different things. I'm going to select my home. Which room do you want to put this in? All right, let's go ahead and put this in. I'm going to put this in the guest room for now. I can always move it later. Now, of course, you can choose services to install. I mean, this is just basic kind of Google TV setup. Of course, I want the YouTube app. I want YouTube TV. I'll do YouTube Music. What else? We'll do Sling. We do want Philo. I subscribe to that. And I think that's it for now. I can always add these later. This is just installing them for you right off the bat. Control the volume and power with the plus streaming remote. So this is for controlling the volume and the power of your TV. You should set this up. This is awesome because this uses the power button on the remote and the volume buttons on the remote to actually control the power and the volume on your TV, not on the Google box. So I'm going to hit setup remote right now, and I'm going to hit TV, and I'll go with Samsung. That's what I have. And you'll hear music next. So let's listen in. We hear the music. We will try to turn it up. It is working. The volume buttons work. So I'll hit yes. Next, set up your power button. All right, so let's see here. Let's press power once, see if it turns off the screen. Looks like it did. Hopefully you guys can still see me because I can't see my screen anymore. But I'm going to hit the power button to turn it back on, and it should power it back up. And here we are. The screen is back on. Did the power button work? Absolutely. We'll hit yes. Your remote is set up. It's not always that easy. Let me just tell you that right now. That was simple. The first Samsung option it gave me, it worked. Yours might take some trial and error. Let's hit next. All right, so now it's setting up Google TV, going through kind of the final options here to get things set up. This might take a little bit of time. It does look like it's installing those apps that we asked it to install. This will take longer, of course, the more apps you selected. If you select less, then it'll probably go a lot faster. Okay, so now we've got some options here. Do you want to use Google Photos as your screensaver? You can turn that on. Do you want to use multiple profiles? If you've got different people using this box, this is a cool newish feature with Google TV where you can set up multiple profiles. So every time you come in, it's going to ask you who's using the TV. Makes sense if you want to keep your stuff and your suggestions separate. And then kids features. This is great, and this is relatively new too. If you have kids in your home and you want them to use this, obviously you don't want them having access to the same stuff you have access to, so you can set that up. I'm going to skip through all this and go right to the Google TV main menu, and there it is. It looks just like what we would expect from Google TV. It's probably still finalizing some setup stuff in the back, but it feels pretty snappy right off the bat. I mean, it's so hard to tell until you get into here and start deep diving into settings. So look, guys, you can see this. It says preparing your Google TV. It's still setting things up, but my Google Home stuff is going to be right here inside the Google Home button. It's asking me to verify my network. Okay, Google wants to make sure you're really trying to connect to a new network. Okay, I will verify this. This makes sense though. I mean, it's just trying to double check and make sure you are who you say you are. But it says you will need to verify the new network to access the home panel on your Google TV. You connected to this network on November 17th, 2024. Okay. So in other words, it hasn't seen me on this network in quite some time. So it's trying to make sure that I am who I am. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my password. All right, guys, if you go to the top of your screen and you go all the way to the right, past the search icon, over to the settings icon, you now have Google Home. This is great. And let me move myself out of the way here. Do I want my home panel and my doorbell notifications? Absolutely. And you'll see my cameras. You'll see if I go into lighting, it shows you all the lights that are set up in my house. You can control this all from your TV, all with your remote. This is easily, I think, one of the best new features of Google TV over the past year. And if you use Google Home stuff, you should be utilizing that feature for sure. The rest of this is exactly what you'd expect, right? You get your apps here, you get things that you've been watching, top selling movies, recommended videos, etc., etc., etc. You can load your apps up, and it feels, as you can see, pretty snappy here. Again, I got to deep dive into it. It does have a little less storage, half as much storage as the 4K Pro, and 1 gig less RAM than the 4K Pro. If you haven't heard of the 4K Pro, I'll pop my link above where I take a closer look at that. That's a great model if you're a power user, but for the rest of you, this might be the best option. So I wanted to give you that brief walkthrough of the initial setup of this new 4K plus streaming box. Again, $30. I don't think you can beat this. It's nice and tiny. It goes right behind your TV. You can even attach it to the back of your TV with the included double-sided sticky tape, so it hides there behind your TV. I think it might be an awesome option. In fact, I think it might be the best option for people who are on a budget looking for a cheap Android streaming box. But I'm going to test it more, and let me know what you guys want to see. Comment below. Do you want to see a deep dive of the menus, a deep dive of the settings and the features? What do you want me to walk you through? How should I power test this thing? I read every single comment. I'll comment back, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. I've got a lot more cool tech videos coming your way here on Tech It Before You Wreck It. I'm Kirk.